Yo, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of Yah'm saying podcast. What's going on? Hey man, tonight, man, we're gonna be chatting it up. We're gonna talk about Cardi B. We're gonna talk about Joe Rogan and his little comment there. Most definitely about Joe Byron, Bing Bong, you know. So um, so join us. Appreciate you. Appreciate you for joining in, man. You know what I'm saying? What's up, bro? What's up, brother Sean? What's happening, man? Yeah, yeah. Well, what's up, bro?
Oh man, I'm good, man. I'm good. This has actually been a real exciting week, man. So, I'm good. I want to talk about a lot of little issues that's been going on, a lot of little things that's been happening, and so forth, man. I'm actually super excited about this show, especially bouncing back from COVID.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, man. I ain't had no energy last time, man. I was slumped over.
Hey, man, that COVID takes you out, man. That COVID
Yeah.
takes you out, man. It is for real, man. Hey, bro. Hey, Sean. Hey, brother Sean, man. We miss you too, brother, man. Hopefully, we can get you in, man. One of these weekends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, this one's for you, but this one for you. All right.
Yeah. I can't be doing all that drinking. I can't be doing not while doing this and sitting down. You know what I mean? I ain't getting up and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, man, that COVID is. I mean, it's we at the point to where if you ain't got it, you're gonna get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all you do is just be out there, and protect yourself and protect your family, man. I'm not gonna sit here and try to tell you what to do. But don't stop living your life, man, because other people ain't, man. Hey, yeah, be in the building.
Better known as Black Jesus.
What up?
What's
people?
going on, John? Can you hear him?
What's up, man? Yeah, I can hear him.
Okay. Brian, you can hear us?
Yeah.
Can you hear us, Brian?
Hello?
Yeah,
I hear you good.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Sure, yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So hey, man, let's jump into it, man. Let's jump into this Cardi B situation, man. So for those that don't know, I guess Cardi B had a lawsuit against a YouTuber. I guess she's a well-known YouTuber called Tasha K. She won a lawsuit of about $4 million. I think the exact number is like 3.8 million. And it was a defamation lawsuit. About Tasha K said, said some things about Cardi B that was probably, not true. My interest in this was, like the precedent, that it sets or could set, you know what I'm saying? With, when individuals have these platforms like we got, right? You know what I mean? Have these platforms and, and you're not being, having correct ethics. You know what I'm saying? Making sure you're not out here slandering people. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it was interesting, man. You guys follow that?
Yeah. Cool, John.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I caught a little bit of the story. And it was funny because people are framing this as a free speech issue, right? And people don't understand free speech does not mean that you get to be reckless with your language. That there's consequences for using certain languages, doing certain things within in the practice of language. And after listening to her apology, that's how she was framing it. that she's using her First Amendment rights and so forth, which again, it all has limitations, and she doesn't understand that constitutional right.
Yeah. Bro, you had anything? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I think this gonna set a tone for a lot how YouTube go now. Like a lot of people gonna start like a lot of celebrities are gonna start like suing these people that have like big fan bases, and you know what I'm saying, they and spreading like misinformation and stuff. So I think a lot of celebrities gonna start like they looking at this, and they're gonna start doing the same. So when something happened to them, they're gonna start just suing. And like Kanye just said the other day, like, well, I think it's a little, it's off subject but it's on subject. Kanye said like to the cameraman, he gonna start like you gonna have to pay him for his likeness to shoot pictures of him. Like he gonna try to make that like with these tabloids, they file him like TMZ just to take a picture of him. You gonna have to pay him too. So I think that's only right. You know what I'm saying? But because a lot of people use that fair act to do things, to say things and do things, but it's only a fair act if you critiquing it, or you can't be embellishing it on anything. You know what I'm saying?
Under legal stature, he would have to copyright his likeness,
His likeness,
which is complicated when you're talking about an actual human being, because that will be a new precedence, right? Nobody has ever copyrighted themselves.
I think somebody did copyright their likeness. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can copyright illustrations, and that illustration can look like you. You can't copyright a picture of actual you. That it is literally, when you go onto the copyright site, it is nothing that describes those under copyright law. You can copy music composers. What else? Film. And there's certain ways that you got to even go about film. But again, you're talking about an image of an actual person. It is nothing that describes that in copyright law. Again, that means that they would literally have to change the illustration. Like, so if I take a photo, right, and I go to a photo shoot, I can get those photos from that photo shoot copywritten. But you taking a picture of me in the public, it's no way that you can copyright that under legal stature. I'm not a lawyer.
But won't it be under the same thing? But see, news can do it. Like news can just video it because it's non-profit, and it's I forget why they can do it. They can do it. Like they can just videotape you. But when you like a TMZ and you profiting off it, but they probably non-profit too.
No, it's not. It's not because they're if they're non-profit or not. It's because when you're in public space, so public space is deemed a space that you can be filmed or recorded by anybody. You have no legal rights to basically. You can tell that person, hey, stop recording, and then that's when the rights stop, right? But legally, they don't have to.
Then why like when YouTubers do pranks on people, and things, they gotta get them to sign the the things so they can film them, show their face.
Because of the statute that we're talking about. So
Um,
like I said, like if they're in public space and say you're just reporting news and you walk right past, right? It's no copyright that will legally protect that person. But if I then put you in my prank, this is person to person, right? And now I need your permission.
Need the permission, yeah.
I need the permission to release the film. I don't need the permission to record you. I need permission to release it.
yeah, but wouldn't that be under the same thing as TMZ? Like they went out looking for Kanye and these stars, videotaped them. Then they sell it to TMZ or whoever. They made a profit off their image.
No, well,
So
that's yeah. So that's what
wouldn't
we're
that be?
actually talking about.
Yeah,
Which is a different precedence.
yeah.
Because now you're going to change the precedence of basically being, public space, what public space is.
Yeah.
Because if
Well,
you being in public space and you feel as though that you have privacy in public space, now you are affecting how to disseminate video information.
mm-hmm.
And that is what the precedence would be for Kanye. Like, yeah, he said it, but at the end of the day, because he said it doesn't don't make it actually true, because it's certain laws that either need to be updated or changed to where society is.
My point was not to change the subject, but I was just trying to say how I think celebrities are going to try to. This is going to cause a lot of celebrities to bring more power to them, like get back their you know what I'm saying, get back their identity a little bit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, and that was what I was going with it. Not to get off subject to like Kanye. Yeah,
no, that's right on subject.
Yeah,
honestly,
because because the thing is that people be forgetting that these individuals are human beings, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you out here just number one, when you're saying stuff, you're not saying allegedly. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be out here saying Cardi B is cocaine and all this other stuff, and because I did watch Tasha K's apology, and she's saying that she's a mom and all those other things. Well, so is Cardi. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She's a mom as well. She's a wife as well. Yeah, man. So I think that in our society we treat celebrities like avatars. You know what I'm saying? Number one, we have a unhealthy celebrity obsession. You know what I'm saying? It's just it really is unhealthy. You know what I'm saying? We put celebrities on pedestals. We will listen to a celebrity before we listen to an actual doctor. You know what I'm saying? Or somebody who's in a profession. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the for me the precedent is set is that I would like to see set is plainly just for people to be honest on these platforms, man. You know what I'm saying? Like tell the truth. Like you do have some sort of ethics, man. You know what I'm saying? Even when you're dealing with people, But
we, not to cut you off, Jay, but we got this from our parents. Like that with that weed commercial when he caught his son smoking weed. He said, "Who you learned this from?" He said, "I got it from you, Dad." But that's what I'm saying. We got it from real media.
Shut up, Pastor Joy.
Yeah.
Like we got it from real media.
Yeah.
People took that same format that real media do. You remember you remember the magazines going in the store and you see the magazine spotted Bigfoot. All that did was now we are on real grandeur. Now we got to see something every day. Something got to be bigger than the next every day. So we got it from them, and her way of thinking and people's way of thinking is like even with rap and stuff, these like young kids think they gotta be gangsters,
Right.
show guns and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
because they see them showing guns and stuff and getting rich
Mm-hmm.
and getting money. So on her case, Tosh, she thought she had to be like Wendy Williams.
Wendy Williams.
You know what I'm saying? And be real, like, and be way more like, yeah. And she went, you know what I'm saying? And I think we get it. We learned just from them. Malcolm X said one time, we shouldn't be listening to like entertain, like life got us listening to entertainers. And you shouldn't be going to entertainers for like I guess he said political problems. He said you shouldn't be going for them for political problems and stuff. But that's what like right now we are going to, what he say, Dave Chappelle show, who gonna ask Ja Rule for his opinion on like, and that's what we going to now.
But the problem is we go to the wrong entertainers, right? We go to
that's what I'm saying.
That's the problem, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, back in the day, Sidney Poitier was an actual activist. Sammy Davis Jr., actual activist. Paul Robeson, actual activist. They were actors, you know what I'm saying? Colin Kaepernick, Bill Russell, Muhammad Ali, like these were individuals who actually knew, you know what I mean, were on the ground. You know, the problem is that, you know, people are turned on Charlemagne the God to listen to some sort of political advice. You know what I'm saying?
Or you're talking to Shaq.
Yeah.
Or Charles Barkley.
Yeah, like, and he doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, he don't know what he's talking about. And it's because we consume. A lot of it is our consumerism, you know what I'm saying? We consume celebrities, you know what I mean, rather than rather than just saying, hey, they're celebrities. And yeah, Cardi did make a big out of, and I agree, she should have.
But on your note,
before you
go ahead, Tay. I'm at John.
So what I was gonna say is, so people gotta understand, like, Cardi B started getting these attacks when they started seeing her be more politically active. And you know, of course she did her music, but everybody was fine with her music in the beginning. But she started being politically active, and people started attacking her. And people got to understand, man, like, especially in our culture, it will always be our culture or people within our culture that will try to drag you down. And this is what Cardi B is facing from Tasha, to a point that even in the court case, they found out that Tasha said that she would remove all the videos if Cardi B just gave her one show. That's blackmail.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is blackmail.
Yeah.
You're trying to blackmail someone to bolster your show so you can make money off of the audience that watches your show. I was watching her live, and you couldn't comment unless you was a paid subscriber.
That's a lot of these cats.
Yeah, but people have to realize that
she had to pay for that. She had to pay for that court case.
Man.
Well, her whole setup like that. But no, I was going to say, man, people got to realize, man, when they watching some of these, you know, YouTubers that are quote unquote mainstream YouTubers, man, you got to be careful of the information you really consume from them. Because at the end of the day, they only look at you as a commodity, as you are in an income stream.
Hold up. To play devil's advocate, it goes to you and Shantae, what Shantae was saying. Sometimes YouTubers has, I found more YouTubers sometimes that hit the news more correct than the news sometimes. And then the news will follow suit after the YouTuber did it. You know what I'm saying? Like a YouTuber will, like, I don't want to take everything because it's just like that George Washington Carver thing. Like he wasn't a scientist, but he's a scientist. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go to school, but he's a scientist.
He's a scientist.
He was a slave. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He ain't go like to these big schools, but he's a scientist. And I don't think you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't think like just like us. Just because we who we are don't mean we ain't factual. I just say weigh it out. Weigh take information from here, take information from there, and weed out the lies. Don't just take it for fact. You know what I'm saying? When you hear it. You know what I'm saying? Investigate. And that's what I think we got. Like, I think people got to go back to critical thinking and investigating what they hear. Like, not just taking it and going with it.
Yeah. I would say that we got to really differentiate what's news and what's not. You know what I'm saying? I personally wouldn't call what Tasha K does as news, right?
I'm saying in the news, but I said
no. I'm saying there are YouTubers like I don't watch CNN, I don't watch ABC, I don't really watch cable news channel. I mainly watch independent news sources. But I don't but I watch that and then go watch something else that said the same thing, you know what I'm saying, to make sure I ain't being lied to, because that is a problem in our discourse a lot, because we live in a society to where opinion is bigger than fact. You know what I'm saying? Opinion is being put on the same plane as fact. And you can't tell me that the sky is brown when it's actually blue. You know what I'm saying? Like, or you know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, there are people who say things, but when you are speaking against another human being, you know what I'm saying, there's got to be some sort of empathy. You know what I'm saying? I think, like John was saying, I mean, the problem is that people see, Tasha saw Cardi B as a way to make money. You know what I'm saying? So there's no ethics in that. There's no ethics when you just look at somebody as a, that's just making money, right? Martin Luther King said that, you know what I'm saying, about black people who didn't want to do anything about Jim Crow because they made money from it. You know what I mean? Those dangerous people to be around. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, John.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing. To switch gears, man. It's the same thing that we see in politics today, right? You got Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema, who's turning down bills, but nobody's really talking to you about how much money they're actually raising for turning down these bills.
Yeah.
But media and the whole YouTube and social media, it's the same thing. Even when it comes to Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan, his literal, when you watch how he does his podcast, what he does is sensationalism. And I'm going to say something that's outrageous, but I don't have to never prove that it's true. And I will bring someone on who will just argue in the same agreement as me, as I just sit here and play stupid that I didn't initiate this argument.
Right.
It's a tactic, because at the end of the day, the masters of who do this information thing, what they do is use words, right? Wordsmithing, word spelling, however you want to put it. What they do is use the trickery of words, because they know that most people in this world don't pick up a book. They don't go research information, let alone even have the time to sit back and pick a book up and research information. Hence why they need your ass to go back to work.
Yeah. What's up, Brian? What you got?
No, this I just believe this is all set up the way we want it. They want our news so messed up that we don't know what's real, what's fake. They want our education so messed up that you can't even add and comprehend. They want you to worship celebrities and not look to people like Colin Kaepernick and people like that's really making moves in your neighborhood. They want you to demonize the person that really doing something for the neighborhood and
Mm-hmm.
glorify the person that really ain't doing that. And
Mm-hmm.
I think this is all because like when I be saying stuff like this, I don't just say it just to say it. American universities have studies on this. They do study. I mean, they old. They like 1930s and 1940s, 50s, and 70s that they've been doing studies on how human minds work and what they would do and they won't do under certain situations. So they already know what these things are doing, or this is planned. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like we just looking at it like, oh man, this is a fail. Like you want they had to dumb down our school for it to even get down to this level. Like they had to like this like that's why dumbing down our school was like why we like, oh man, our grade scores are getting lower. It's made for that. So when they say something on TV and somebody that don't have no intelligence, don't make no sense, you'll just say, I believe it. That's how Donald Trump can fool and get the masses because half of them not even higher than eighth grade, ninth grade education. Really, like you know what I'm saying. I bet most of the people that follow him is not really on that high, and if they are high, they got some hidden agenda on why they doing it. You know what I'm saying? They only doing it because the money, or you know what I'm saying? They only messing with them for some reason. But that's what I'm saying. This is working out as planned, and that's what I'm saying. And people like Tosh and all these YouTubers, they just try to follow CNN and Fox, and that's I mean they might not like think it's right from them, but it is. That's exactly because she wanted to get it on so bad. She was willing to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Cardi
Like I was telling,
B,
but
Cardi
you
B
know,
mom,
no,
it
no,
came from ours.
yeah.
Like
Like I, like I,
I'm
but like
joking,
I told
people.
Sean,
So please don't sue me. I'm joking. But
Yeah.
this is the stuff that
but
she was literally just she was just spewing stuff out of her mouth.
Right. 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 Mm-hmm.
but that's like I was telling Shantae earlier. She can win from this if she use it right. She can come on. She can win because she got more followers now.
Yeah.
She got people viewing her now more than ever. That publicity, that $4 million that's all that was for advertising. She needs to count that 4 million as advertising because she can blow up from this if she use it right.
Yeah, but
Not saying it's a good thing.
yeah, that's
No, it is definitely a bad thing.
there's most. I think it's a bad thing, but
Yeah, I'm just saying.
she can turn around. But I think that
Me too, but
yeah, but she don't need to. You know, we don't need to disconnect from the fact that she went to court and it was shown. I think she said in court, yeah, like yeah, she said it in court, like yeah, I just made that stuff up to make money. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That is the nefarious part. That is the part that we really have to call out, right? And we shouldn't be promoting that, you know what I'm saying? Especially when it's dealing with our people, man, because there are just
Mm-hmm.
way too many of these individuals who are using, like you're saying, Brian, uh, yeah, our school systems have failed, a generation of us, you know what I'm saying? I blame No Child Left Behind, because it was just pushing kids through school, because like you're saying, a low test scores and everything like that, just pushing kids through school. So kids didn't learn how to context, right? Like you were talking about, John, kids didn't learn context, you know what I mean? And the problem is with how we speak, how we talk in America, we are very low context, right? We're very low context. So what you say, people will take it as factual. You know what I mean? People will take
Mm-hmm.
that, you know what I'm saying? So we got to have these long conversations because, you know, if we have a short conversations with bigger words, you know, people are not going to understand it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I hope that, I hope that the precedent set here is that, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, if you want to be out here, you know, doing, you know, reporting on celebrities, man, understand that they're human beings, man. Understand they're human beings, and have good sources, have good sources, and you know what I'm saying, and put out factual information, man. But yeah, that's my
I,
last on that.
yeah, my last words, man. Everything that we talked about, they got a theory that's called Bolshevism.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a theory of like people that so whenever we seen Donald Trump, right, he would say something that he knew that was not factual,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but because he said it in a space
Mm-hmm.
that now I got an audience to agree with what I'm saying, and then I insert something that is somewhat true.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go back. Like it's this game of just throwing lies out and mixing it with truths,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
and the whole time you're just bullshitting everybody.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because really, the whole scope of your conversation is just not honest, just based off of you just telling lies from just within in what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And this is what Tucker Carlson do. This is what what's the other guy?
Hannity, like
Yeah, Sean Hannity.
man, you can just go down the list, man.
Yeah,
Rush
you
Limbaugh,
can
everybody trying to
yes,
rush some version of Rush Limbaugh, man.
yes,
Some
and,
version.
and he was the master of it, like
Mm-hmm.
literally.
Mm-hmm.
And people got to understand this, man. And you know, I'm a person like I like speaking truthfully
Mm-hmm.
as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
It's just me.
Yeah.
I'd rather be upfront, honest, and so forth, or I just keep my mouth closed. It's
Mm-hmm.
just how I operate.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I just hope that obviously her listening to her apology, she didn't learn a lesson.
Nah, she ain't learned this.
So
Blame
she's just
everybody
gonna do exactly what she did before and keep on going
and be more clever about it. That's all.
and be more clever about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 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 yeah. What's
Yeah.
up, Brian? What's your last thoughts on this?
Oh, well, to John, Hitler said, say something loudly and enough, a lie loudly, boldly, and enough, people will believe it. You know
Believe
what I'm
it.
saying? That's what Hitler said. But on my last thing, I think we just need to bring integrity back on everything, not just media. I think our whole integrity about things is everything, everywhere. It's cool to be slime people. It's cool to
Mm-hmm.
do weird things. Like it's cool to be like not just a bad guy, to be the like a creep.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody you would have called a creep back in the day. It's cool to be a creep. Like you know what I'm saying? It's cool to be the weird mother. Like we letting things that's real weird go. Like and we giving them their space to be weird, and things that back in the day or something like that they've been like, you like, yo, that's weird, man. That sounds very creepy. But our integrity across the board is messed up. Like everywhere people integrity is lost everywhere.
Word.
Like, and I think we need to get back and need to stand on integrity.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely.
That's it.
The
Speaking
fairness doctrine.
yeah,
I
man,
know.
yeah,
I know.
yeah. We look,
I
man.
think my
Like Brian
froze.
is saying, man, we got to get. We can still hear you, Brian. Yeah, man, we just got to get back.
Oh no.
Yeah, we just got to get back to some entire character, man, character and morals. And we lost Brian. Hopefully, he come back.
Yeah.
Character and morals. You know what I'm saying?
BY joined.
But yeah, man. Yeah, man. Y'all want to get into this Joe Rogan thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, man. Let me play this. Let me play this clip So everybody understand what we're talking about with Joe Rogan here. Let me see here.
Intolerance and bigotry and anger and hateful
sexual oppression.
What did Michael
prejudice,
Eric Dyson call you? An
mean,
angry white man.
Yeah, and a mean, angry white man. Yeah,
hilarious.
Yeah.
You're not mean at all.
Yeah.
That's what's dumb about that statement. It's you're not mean at all. It's
I am white. Actually, that's a lie too. I'm kind of tan, and he was actually not black.
If you're tan,
he was
what
sort
the
of
fuck
brown.
Am I? Because I'm darker than you.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but neither of us are white.
Well, I'm Italian,
and
mostly.
He was brown, not black.
Well, isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's really weird.
The black and white thing is so strange because
like
the shades are so
tan and brown.
There's such a spectrum of shades of people. Unless you're talking to someone who is like 100% African from the darkest place where they're not wearing any clothes all day and they've developed all that melanin to protect themselves from the sun. You know, even the term black is weird. And when you use it for people that are literally my color, it becomes very strange.
Yeah.
You know,
this is true.
It's
so you were asking,
depending on.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Joe Rogan, man, stepped into it, man. You know, I hate to say this, but I sort of agree with him. You know what I'm saying? Even though what he said was stupid, right? You know, because even the darkest of us that are of African descent and live in Africa are brown. We are very, very dark brown. Our hair color on the top of our head is brown. It's not actually black. It's a very, very dark brown. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, go ahead, John.
I'm going to say, first of all, Joe Rogan, what we call it in our culture is called blue black. All right. we don't call it that. We call it blue black. You so black, you blue black. You purple.
Yeah. That's that language we gotta get rid of in our culture, man.
Yeah, I know, but man, come on, man. Like what Joe Rogan said again, because it was so stupid, you can find where you can agree with.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't excuse his ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To narrow it down to the middle of Africa and assume that they are the darkest people because they are near the equator is the most dumbest shit in the world. Like the equator just stopped at fucking just Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes around the world. What South America, parts of South America passes it. Like it's just a dumb statement.
You know, for me, and I'll let you in, Brian. But for me, the dumb part is that first off, Joe Rogan, black people, we didn't call ourselves black. That's number one. Okay. Because black is just based on, phenotype. It's just based on, a skin color. Race, race is a social construct. Race was invented in the 1600s. I gotta look it up. But his name was Klaus Linus or whatever. Basically, this dude was like, he was like, well, if they're, if cats and tigers and lions are of the same, species, and there's, these hierarchies or whatever, then human beings are the same way. You know what I'm saying? So, he went and classified human beings, classified human beings and put white people at the top, called them Caucasian, being from the Caucasus Mountains. And then, Africans were on the bottom. You had the Asians, and then you had the indigenous peoples from North America and South America. And then you had Asian peoples that included people from the Middle East. And then you had Africans were on the bottom.
So to chime in, I'm sorry, Brian, I got to say this before you get. So what you're telling me is somebody had the theory, if it looked like a duck and quacked like a duck, then it must be a duck.
Yeah, man. Look, man. Yeah, man. And us being called black, it has negative connotations, and that was done on purpose. You know what I'm saying? We did not call ourselves black. You know what I'm saying? The other part of that is that, you know, if a person is in Africa, the deepest, darkest parts of Africa, they are not black. They are whatever country they're from. You know what I mean? So they're Ghanaian, they're Nigerian, they're, you know what I mean? They're South
Ibu.
African, they're Igbo. Yeah. And then it breaks down into tribes. That is what they are, Joe Rogan. They're not black. The only time you have an actual black person is when they are outside of Africa, or there is a influence of colonization of white people, you know what I mean, of Europeans who call themselves white in that country, you know, or in that continent, you know what I'm saying? That's where, so if you go to Australia, you know, they're Aboriginal, you know what I'm saying? Those people are, you know, they're Aboriginal, meaning they're from that land. And those, the white people are there, they're white, you know what I'm saying? You know, and it just goes to how we think about, you know, how race is so ingrained. You know, that's the first thing they went to was race. They did not go to ethnicity. They did not go to culture. You know what I'm saying? You know, Neil deGrasse Tyson is black. I'm pretty sure they would have said Frederick Douglass wasn't black either, because Frederick Douglass was mixed race. Pretty sure they would have said Booker T. Washington wasn't black because Booker T. Washington was mixed race, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean? Mixed race. Let me put that in quotation, because race is not a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just want to say that. My bad, Brian. Go ahead. I mean, a monologue. Go ahead.
I'm all right. I'm just listening.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, B.
I don't know. I put him in the same category as Tasha. What's her name? Like, you know what I'm saying? I just put him in the same category. I don't think Joe Rogan was as malice with his statement like Tosh though. I think he smoked weed and he talking, and he Italian. That's how we black people worship Italians. I don't know why we do, but we do. We love them. We love their gangster shit. But that's how them Italians think. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you around their table, like they talking, they just as crazy talking than them rednecks from what's the name, them Italians. That's what I said, and I just think he just smoked weed and whatever. I don't know if it was malice, because I ain't hear like whatever. I just think it was uneducated, and he was just going off his uneducated thing, like a lot of other people do, like other white people do when they talk about stuff. They talk from a uneducated point of view, or what they heard on Fox, or lost Saint Nick, like when that lady on Fox said, "Can't we just leave Saint Nick alone? He's white. He's a white thing." And then they looked at like he's really Saint Nick was based off of a Turkish, like, you know what I'm saying, like a person, like priest, and like they'll just say things because that's what
that's how they view the world.
The agenda. No, that's what I'm saying. It goes back to the agenda that they set forth is working. They whitewashed a lot of things, so they believe they was the creators of everything, and they believe everything they say. What's that dude? What's the museum people that collect the dinosaur bones and all that?
Smithsonian.
Smithsonian. Yeah, they said they're not going to dig, because they asked this guy, the head scientist there. They said, was he going to dig farther than the and when they found out that Europeans was black, like black, he found out. He said he ain't digging no farther than that.
Oh my gosh, the last name is slipping me, but Dr. John. I can't remember his name. He was a historian. But
he said he ain't digging no farther than that. They don't want to find out nothing. They don't want to really find out. They don't want us to find out, or white people to find out what is really like what like, hey, these black people was geniuses. They the one that built them pyramids and did all these crazy things and did heart surgery. Like, think about it. This science ain't new. Like, we think it's new, but they got things that they was doing brain surgery back then. They got things that they was doing brain surgery. They got the hook, everything. They was doing heart surgery back then. They
abortions.
This science ain't. Yeah, that's what I say. This science ain't new. We like to think it's new. We're gonna find out they're harboring, they hiding science from us, and then they acting like it's new.
Mm-hmm.
But that would say it. But my point is, the whitewash they doing it is working. That's why when you hear this conversation and hear how they talk about it, it's just a product of our educational system and how they whitewash things and make it like, oh, how they put Africa real small and America real bigger than Africa.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This
Mhm.
is the whitewash of their mind. So that's why when you hear them, they talk so
This might drive
proudly
us.
and,
This might
oh
drive us
no,
into.
no, that ain't what it is. Like, because this what they've been taught.
Yeah,
Yeah,
George Washington
right.
cut down a cherry tree and never lied.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's my
yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah.
man. But Brian, man, all the point that you bringing up, man, that might drive us into the point of talking about anti CRT.
CRT, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the whole point of that anti-CRT. Well,
Mm.
I
Yeah.
mean, but to jump back on Joe Rogan, is that Joe Rogan, he can call himself Italian all he wants. Joe Rogan walked through America being white. So does Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson walks through this world being white. You know what I'm saying? Sure, Joe Rogan has Italian heritage, but but you, he does. You would recognize that black people are a culture. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Black people are a culture,
Mm-hmm.
and the culture and in Africa,
BY joined.
in Africa they have their own culture, and they have hundreds of cultures. You know what I'm saying? And so he made that comment being a white man, racializing black people. And I try to tell people this all the time, is that in in America, England, and all these other, South America, where there's people of African descent, you know what I'm saying? When you say black people, you're talking about a specific culture. You know what I mean? Hey, Monique, you're talking about a specific culture. You know what I'm saying? And we are a culture here in America. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, yeah, I'm losing my train of thought, but we're a culture here in America. You know what I'm saying? So you can't then transport the culture and transport to another continent. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Yeah, it just didn't make sense.
Well, Joe Rogan, as an Italian man, I'm pretty sure he knows the somewhat of the Italian story of at least Hannibal.
Or maybe not, though, because the Italians over there, the
Well,
northern Italians discriminate against the southern Italians, Hannibal, and
yes.
the southern Italians are darker. You know what I'm saying? They're
So
dark.
he may not even know it. So again, that mediocrity
Yeah,
happens again.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it just shows up every single time.
Mm.
And because someone gave him millions of dollars, they assume that when he say things like this, that he is intelligent.
Right.
He is a mediocre white man.
Right.
No one knows that he's Italian unless he tells you that he's Italian.
Right, exactly. Because Rogan don't sound Italian to me.
He don't sound Italian, and I seen Italians.
Yeah.
Like and again, you're talking about
I joined.
the different kind of now we get going into the whole skin tone thing. And that's just what it really is. Like,
that's what they were talking
yeah,
about. So they were just basing it on skin tone. You know what I mean?
right,
And not
right.
understanding that Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's African American. When you're
Yes.
talking about people in Africa, they are African, or whatever country that they're from. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And just because we share the same skin color, the same phenotype, you can't simply just we're all different shades. You know what I'm saying? Black
Right.
people come in different shades. You know what I'm saying? But to say you know, yeah, man, it was just ignorant, man. Number one, you shouldn't be, delving into that unless you understand Black culture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And getting away from
But
what's up?
oh, not this is my last point on that on that thing. But that's our job. We got to stop letting them tell our story. We got to stop letting them.
B, I got something for you before you go.
We got to stop giving. Go ahead.
That's for what you just said. Shots fired.
Oh,
because
my
that's
freezing. I couldn't even see
it. No, man. It was shots fired because what you just said was it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go repeat. I couldn't hear because it freezed for a minute.
No,
what you
man. I let some shots off, man. Because for what you said, that's what that was.
Yeah.
The words were shots. Because that in our culture, man, we have
I think
slide.
Because I think we gave them too much power. We let like Texas and Florida and all these things that are not like want to tell about Black history. All right, that ain't their job. Let's take that over. Let's fund our stuff now. Like let's get our money up and fund our like to tell about our business, our life, because we giving them too much power. I froze again.
I would say that we aren't using our power correctly. That's what I would say. I would say we're not using our power correctly. We are, because again, we'll jump right into the CRT thing, right? Because the anti-CRT is mainly, all of these laws that are being passed, except in Florida. Florida, I think, is the only state that directly says no CRT, right? But all these other laws, they don't mention CRT, right? So you do have individuals, you do have Black studies, in a lot of these school systems. You do have laws that say you must teach African American history. You do have, people who are local on the ground, in these states who are teaching our history. The problem is that, again, we're coming up on a midterm election, and only barely 50% of Black people are going to participate and vote. Barely. You know what I'm saying? We are giving up our power. And I'm reading about it in this that book is
no.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Brian.
Just let me speak on what you said. Only why are we giving up our power? Because they're not teaching us how to mobilize.
That's not their job.
When you teaching us Black history, it's just to teach us. No, it is their job. You have to but is it your job to come around a political time and tell us to vote and you need to vote? That's your job. If you feel that's your job, it's your job to mobilize us. And I'm talking about grown people. I'm talking about kids. You teach them how to mobilize. Not just teach them George Washington and how they was doing it. Just like that thing you said to me the other day when they not the Black Caucus. What's that other thing you said they had? They had a group that was going to these
the defeat of Black power,
demanding their vote, demanding their
the national back.
Yeah. But they don't teach us about that. Why they don't teach us about that? Because they don't want us mobilizing like that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's okay to learn, but they don't want you to mobilize. They don't want you to be that like they don't want you to mobilize like that. And that's what I'm saying. We got to teach our kids how to, all right, take the information you got and apply it to you. Apply it to what's going on now, and use their failures and use their success. You know what I'm saying? That's what we gotta. That's how we gotta make them look at it. Like not just to look at it like, oh, all right, yeah, a Black man did that. All right, that's it.
Yeah, man. Look, I get the point that you're trying to drive. My fear is that when you watch our culture, we are purposely not participating.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We rather be entertained than actually be educated.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that, man. I'm on Facebook, like, and I don't like Facebook. I really don't like Facebook. I really don't like people on Facebook, and that's why people, I had
We
people
on
come to me.
Facebook.
Well, yeah, but but
I'm
but
messing
like
with you.
I
No,
knew,
I'm messing with you.
I know,
I said
but
we on Facebook.
but I actually had people walk up to me to ask me,
Go ahead.
man, why you post all of that political stuff? And the reason why I do it is because I know your dumb ass ain't gonna read it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And sorry that the words are so harsh, but the thing of it is, well, I know you won't be in my personal business.
Mm-hmm.
Is the easiest way to say it for Black people.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You won't be in my personal business
mm-hmm.
if I post something that can educate you and uplift you.
Because if you post something personal, then everybody responding.
All right.
Everybody.
Bingo.
Hey, you get 100 response. What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, you post something about, hey, midterm elections coming up. These are, CRT laws getting passed, and then people are just tuned out. They're like, oh, whoa, politics, and really.
Well, hold up.
And it goes back to
Why
the
do
whole
you?
Tasha thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how she's capitalizing off of our ignorance and our culture.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because they're not seeking education in a sense where they're understanding politically how to use their political power. They just rather sit back and say, well, I don't want to stir the pot.
People are not. People are made lazy. People want to do stuff. People want to. That's why it's when they take basketball and jobs out of youth communities, people snap, because you know why? People want to do stuff. People want, like, oh, they took the basketball from people. They took the jobs from them. It ain't like we want to be on them streets shooting, like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody want to be on that level. You'll be on that level for comfortability though, because that's all you know, and that's what, like, like, your mind can't see farther than what you seeing. You know what I'm saying? Your mind can't visualize farther than what you see. That's why the image on white people on TV, and how they always keep their men upscale and up stuff. So when they're watching them, they see upstate scale white men or all that. But when we show them, we rappers, drug dealers, and whatever. That's why.
Brian.
So
yeah, you cut out a bit, Brian.
and like nobody wants to be what they want. No, we do want to be. We do want to be a vote. We do want to go whatever. But you know the problem is with people. People don't like to feel uneducated about something. They don't like to feel dumb. And then talk about political things make people feel dumb. Because they don't know. They don't know these words. They don't know these things, so that they feel stupid. So they don't like feeling stupid. So they get out of it.
Yeah,
it's a thing. Like,
yeah, but I would say that after reading part of this book, man, the defeat of Black Power, rights, and the National Black Political Convention. The one thing that we did stop doing is being civically engaged. Now you have to understand there's a lot of Black people who didn't participate in politics back then, but a lot of them couldn't do it because they were illiterate. You know what I'm saying? Like, they couldn't read, you know what I mean? Not politically illiterate. You know what I'm saying? I think that the problem that we have, and the reason why the anti-CRT stuff popped up again, DeSantis only won by 77,000 votes. There was over over 200,000 people who had the ability to vote who didn't vote. You know what I'm saying? And so again, you know what I'm saying? It is about power. What people, what that, and that's what they were trying to get us to move from protests to politics, and for us to have power. We don't understand power. You know what I'm saying? And I will say that a part of that is that in our culture, we like having battles, whether it's generational battles or we like having, sex battles, right? Male against female, you know what I'm saying? It's not that people aren't out here teaching, you know what I'm saying? It's that, people are not listening. You know what I'm saying? People are not listening, and people want to find
BY joined.
people want to find a reason. People want to find a reason to to not participate in the system. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? When it comes down to it, I don't know what happened, Brian. He's like, yes, girl. There we go. Yeah.
Thank you, but I don't know why.
And people. So you either change the system and make it work for you, or you sit out of the system and you don't complain, right? Those are really your two options. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to these things,
it's like so I was listening to Joe Madison, right? The Black Eagle, as my kids call him, the cussing old man. So and callers call up there, black callers, and because they're so frustrated in what's going on, or the slow process this administration, because that's the best way to frame it. It's just a slow process, because
the system is designed.
It's how the system is designed. It's because you're fighting literal fascism now. What you were fighting before wasn't fascism, so it moved slightly faster. But now, since it's fascism, things are moving a little slower, because you literally almost have 45 to 47% of the population in America that's buying into fascism. So it's slowing down the process. So black people now are basically saying they're not even going to show up for the next midterm election. And again, like, this is the problem in
foolish.
Like when you were making a statement that you were saying about just because they couldn't vote because they were illiterate. Well, now that we are reading more in our culture, like, the literacy rate is higher and so forth. Now we have to deal with political literacy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because we're so young in voting, in the process of voting, and being politically aware.
And people don't understand that point. And 1972, that is when black people had power to vote. You know what I'm saying? Real power. That's when we started, electing people to offices again, in our country. So we've only had real power since, or we had a semblance of power, since 1972. And like you're saying, I get a lot of black people who are cynical. They look at our government. They're like, man, it's just, government just ain't working, But it's really not government that's not working. It's the pressure of capitalism that is pressing down on a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? We because like I was telling brother, he's in the chat, DV, the Catalyst, you know what I mean, and his chat, you know what I mean, where Kimberly Crenshaw said that usually in American history, when black people get progress, the backlash for that progress is longer than the actual event. You know what I mean? Reconstruction, black people having total freedom, 12 years in the sun, only lasted 12 years. Jim Crow lasted 80. You know what I'm saying? Civil rights only lasted about 30 years, 40 years. And we're in the 40th year of the backlash to civil rights. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so, you know, it is.
I wouldn't even say it lasted 40 years, because if you go down to some of, when you go down to the economics in about 1974, pretty much the disarray in black neighborhoods were starting to happen. The decay and the jobless and so forth. So that from 1965, where you know the civil rights and stuff was happening, you know, once 74 hit in 75, oh, it was a wrap.
Yeah, because a lot of neighborhoods started to, you know, you had white flight, you had jobs going to the suburbs, you had the beginning of globalization.
Yes,
and you know, and yeah, a lot of these things that decimated black peoples and black cultures. You know what I'm saying? But yet and still, you know, I really wish we could have another national black political convention to get black people to understand that, you know, the reason that these states like Florida and these other states can pass laws where there is a good number of black people, you know what I mean? It's because, you know, and I get it. You got to give people a reason to vote. You can't just say, you know, like Brian was saying, you can't just say, oh, get out and vote. You simply you know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I try to tell some moderates, man, like y'all are slowing down progress, man. You know, Martin Luther King said, you know, you guys believe in the myth of time, man. Y'all believe in this myth of time that we got time and we don't got time.
Yeah, we gotta bring that what was that movie Whoopi Goldberg was in, Purple,
you talking about? You're not talking about
color Purple. You trying to beat me, Harpo? I've been fighting all my life. Like we got to sit back and bring that kind of, you know what I'm saying? We've been fighting all our lives, so we need to keep fighting.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have to keep fighting because people need to understand, man. Like, we had to be written into this American dream. You know what I'm saying? We had to be written into the Constitution, right? Which is why, you know, when Tasha K is talking about her First Amendment rights, her First Amendment right is not being violated with the conversation between her and Cardi. You know what I mean? Her First Amendment rights would only be in violation if the government chooses to violate her First Amendment rights. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So with that understanding that the Constitution, when the abolishment of slavery, except for incarceration, and the 13th Amendment, and then the 14th Amendment made Africans American, and then the 15th Amendment gave those African Americans civil rights. That wrote us into the Constitution, guaranteeing us life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so since we were written in the Constitution, you know what I'm saying, we've had to fight each and every time because the government, because we could not, you know, be a political bloc, right? And I am more and more believing that if we had more political astuteness when we became free or got the right to vote, when the black men got the right to vote, we wouldn't have been connected to either party, right?
Yeah,
we would have just formed our own party. You know what I'm saying? You know, like they was trying to do in 1972. You know, and you know, and because of this fight over a century or so, you know, you do have a generation that just look like, yo, y'all been marching, y'all been protesting, y'all been voting, and nothing's happening. You know what I mean? Only 40% of us are homeowners. You know what I'm saying? You know, the black white wealth gap is still, you know, 17,000 to 171,000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 2.3 I think it's 7% are business owners.
Yeah. Yeah, business owners, and even if they're business owners, like 80% of them have one employee, maybe two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? But we just have to still fight, man. We just have to, man. Sitting down doing nothing is not the problem. Is not the answer. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King said this too. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm X. And here's my last thing, you know what I mean? Because I went on monologue, sorry. But when people talking about Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? People always fantasize about the militant Malcolm X, you know what I mean? Not the Malcolm X that we didn't get to see. We didn't get to see the Muslim Orthodox Malcolm X. We didn't get to see the Malcolm X who started a political organization and was willing to work with Christians and white people across the aisle, you know what I'm saying, for the betterment of Black people. We didn't get to see that Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? And that Malcolm X was on his way before he got killed, you know what I'm saying? So
peace be unto him.
Yeah. And and it's and yeah, man, I understand what B was getting at, you know what I'm saying? But it's still, man, doing nothing is not the answer, man. Doing nothing is not the answer. Yeah.
No, I agree, man. And honestly, like everything that from what B's talking about to what you talking about, it just drives us to the next point is the nominations for the Supreme Court, because I like to say Stephen. What's his last name? Bird, or
that?
the Supreme Court judge.
Stephen
Breyer.
Yeah.
Stephen Breyer, Stephen Breyer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Stephen Breyer stepping down. All of this drives us to the point of Joe Biden said he's going to nominate African American Supreme Court nomination. The Supreme Court never had a Black woman.
Yeah.
Not even nominated. And I wish Joe Biden would have never just said it. I wish he would have just been more strategic and sat back and just said, I'm going to nominate the next Supreme Court justice, and left everything a cliffhanger, and then surprised everybody that everybody's Black. That way the right wing can go ahead and say how they really feel. And where they be 2 words from sitting back saying,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because that's what they really want to say. And sadly, what they have been focusing on have been the fact of, because Joe Biden said, quote unquote, a Black female, that they're now saying, oh, is that her only qualifications? And it's like, these women, it's 9 different Black women. Some of them are of mixed race. I think 2 of them are of mixed race. One is from Africa descent, and one is, her mixed race is Jamaican and Jewish. So you're talking about a lot of culture, a lot of different background. Harvard, Yale graduates, a lot of them. So you're not talking about just mediocre women.
Right.
You're talking about women who spent their career in justice. Unlike the one lady who was nominated by Donald Trump, who was 30-something years old, and she never even tried the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not this kind of mediocrity from these 9 women.
But I would say that when those 100 and something white men that got elected to the court, nobody had to say that they were white because
Yeah.
white is the norm. Nobody had to say Brett Kavanaugh was a white man. Nobody had to say, "Oh, I'm gonna replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg with a white woman, Amy Coney Barrett," because whiteness is the norm. That is the beginning, right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you have to kind of qualify. Like, oh, you know what? It's time for a black woman because
Yeah.
you have to. You know what I mean? Like I told somebody, I think a radio dude on Twitter. I told him that, man, just rip the Band-Aid off. Who cares? They're gonna be mad either way. Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's how I thought about Joe Biden's statement. It was like, who cares? Rip it up. Rip it off. Bam, just rip it off.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whether he said it then or he does it now, it's always somebody was going to bring it up. You know what I'm saying? At least they got some time to cool down. You know what I mean? But like you're saying, these women are well qualified, and they have all been recognized on the other side as having qualifications and stuff. So, again, it's these white folk who look at race through a racial lens, look at black people through a racial lens. You know what I'm saying? And that's the first thing that they go to, and because they don't rationalize in their head. Again, they are so normalized with seeing white, right? They're so normalized seeing a person who identifies as white, that they didn't think like, oh, you know what? Oh man, you know what? Maybe it is time for a black woman. You know what I'm saying? We've already had two black men. We have a woman of Hispanic descent. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's time. When Sandra Day O'Connor was elected, was selected to go under Reagan administration, people are like, you know what? It's time for a woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But because she was white, nobody said, "Oh, why is he electing a white woman?" You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And I really don't like hearing that from black people.
Yeah. So even reading the AP report, right, about these nominations. Why did you really feel that you need to talk about the mixed race of two of the candidate or nominations? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like you could have just spent your time talking about the credentials of these women, and just left it just there.
Yeah,
but you had to point out who was Jamaican and Jewish, or who was Paul Ryan's half sister in law, and like all of this nonsense. And this is the sad part that media does. That this is why I was making the statement on saying I wish Joe Biden would have not done that, because it sort of gave them ammunition to plug into it. And granted, they are going to be mad no matter on what you say. It does not matter if it is any drop of brown. They will lose their hat on it. And fight tooth and nail on the most simplistic things that should not even be an issue. This is just who they are. This is who they always been. Have they, got some more sophisticated in the way that they? Yes, but they're the same people from the 1400s on.
Yeah,
they're the same people.
Yeah, man. And part of that sophistication is putting a black face to say things about other black people and other black women in this instance. You know what I'm saying? To say, oh, she's not quite Tim Scott. Cotton to Congress. Cotton to Congress. My favorite, I'm not gonna be their black Republican. You know what I'm saying? Like they like putting these black faces, and they like putting these black faces to show like, oh look, like Lee Atwater said, right? Lee Atwater, this man, he gave the game up, man. Because Lee Atwater said, hey, you can't go around saying nigger, nigger, nigger. you gotta tie it to something. You gotta tie it. Busing, you got to tie it to the budget, and then you get so abstract that you just tie it to anything, right? So you know what I mean, without calling these black women niggers, they just say, hey, she's unqualified. You know what I mean? Like, she's on the DC circuit. What are you talking?
So listening to Tucker Carlson, right? Talk about and they pull Candace Owens up to talk about it, right? They did not have anything of substance to their background, to their job, to their qualifications. That what they were arguing about was the fact that Joe Biden said a black woman. Oh, you mean to tell me that's all of their qualifications? It's like, what? Like, no. He just said it was a black woman. Now, what you were pointing out, what you should be pointing out is her qualifications, because you are media and that's your job.
Right.
Joe Biden's job is to sit back and say, hey, we as a government, we have been tilting the scales for a very long time for the white race. It's time for us to kind of tilt the scales for everybody else so they can win. That's what Joe Biden is actually saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a fact. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Joe Biden just can't ignore that, black women showed up, to vote for him and things of that nature. And he came here to South Carolina and made a promise. You know what I'm saying? I know Clyburn's trying to get who he's trying to get, from South Carolina, on that seat. But all those women are really, are qualified. I think the only one I really know about was Cheryl Eiffel. That's because I follow her on Twitter. But yeah, she's real smart.
Tanji Brown Jackson. She worked under Stephen Breyer.
Okay.
So you're talking about like Stephen Breyer that's stepping down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She worked under him for 99. So you talking about over 20 years ago.
Yeah. Wow.
So you got Alondra Kager. You got somebody named Wilhelmina.
Yeah.
Come on now. Her name is Wilhelmina.
Yeah, man. At the end of the day, they're quite like. Look, we were gonna be at this moment to where, you know what I'm saying. It's time. It's time for a black woman to get a seat on the Supreme Court. You know what I mean? Yeah. We got plenty of black women who can, who can do the job and do it well. And here's my thing. Well, I don't get what outrage from the folks on the right, man. It's still gonna be 6-3. Like, what are you outraged about? You still got the advantage. You know what I'm saying? That's like being upset that you up by 30 points and the referee on the football field moved the ball 1 yard. You know what I mean? Like, put the ball on the 2-yard line instead of the 3. You know what I'm saying? Like on the on your
why the right is upset is simply because this may energize black folk. The slightest movement that we can see is in change in this country may energize us to show up to the midterms.
Yeah. Black people.
So this is what they are afraid of, because we are waiting for this government to do something big for us. And when we say us, it can be an individual, but it can be a representation of us. Now we'll get to the reparations eventually. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Because we're just going to chip away.
Yeah. That's what you got to do, is chip away.
And this is what the right long-term game is. If they can hold off this point, because they see the tide of this conversation happen, because reparations was already a conversation in the last election. They are seeing the tide turn, that eventually we're coming for that check.
Yeah, like Martin Luther
and
King
they know it
for that check.
And if you get a black Supreme Court justice, she may be moderate, hopefully, crossing the fingers, this is just me, hopefully she's a little more progressive than moderate.
Yeah.
Because we really need a push. We don't need to get along, to get along. We don't need that no more. You know what I'm saying? It's time to show up.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, they can afford us. Natasha, they trust me. They can afford us. They already know they can.
Yeah, they can afford us.
They don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. We got to push. We got to push them.
Hey, look, man. When Ukraine just got done, the whole Russia thing in the Ukraine, and they showed up to the borders, and they was going to drop 800 what was it, $800 billion? Yeah. In the black space, they sat back and said, "Oh hell nah, oh hell nah, they can afford us.
Oh yeah, man.
We'll put you on a layaway plan."
Layaway plan, man.
You know what I'm saying?
And look, and and the crazy thing, about going back to that conversation about power, right? Is that black people need to know about things like the Kerner report. Read the Kerner report from LBJ's administration. The Kerner report laid out and said, yes, black people need reparations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And how to do it. And then in the Nixon administration, I can't remember what the report was. There was another economic report that said, hey, this is how we can, repair, a lot of the issues, the economic issues that black people are talking about. You know what I'm saying? So we have to revisit those two things, but black people have to know about those things and talk about it, you know what I'm saying, in a manner, you know what I'm saying? And that's where we come in, being the OGs. Look, we have to be like, look, man, look, we understand that, government ain't workforce. That funky $250 they have. Natasha, I'll use that $250. I'll tell you that. But yeah, you're right though, man. I'm a person. Look, I'm pretty progressive. I believe that at the start of this pandemic in 2020, they should have gave everybody $3,000 to sit you behind home. Here's $3,000 a month, for a year. Stay home. You know what I mean?
Hey, bro, man. Look, when they cut them checks, I was sitting here. I was like, man, $1,400, man. God damn, man. Yeah. That's all. That's all, bro.
Yeah.
All right, man. All right, man. I'm gonna just go ahead and cash this.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, folks gonna be hurt now. You got to file that with your taxes this year. Ooh-wee, man. Ooh-wee, man. But yeah, man. And it all gets back, and that's why I need to finish this book. I'm about halfway done. But really, man, I would, I wish that we could have these conversations and say that that, hey, man, we were never done. You know what I mean? Like, we have to continue to fight that our ancestors left for us. You know what I mean? There's a transition. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one thing I'm learning. Like reading. Like there's a transition. There was the protest, and then the politics, and we should have transitioned to economics, right? I'm one thing I'm learning is that black people should have been from the Labor Party, you know what I'm saying? Been from the Labor Party or formed a Labor Party, you know what I mean? No, we're not from Saudi Arabia, though, you know what I mean? People say I look Nigerian or something like that. But but people, should have transitioned to a Labor Party, right? Not just a political party, but a labor party.
Yeah.
That said that, hey, you want our vote? These are the economic things that you have to do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's one thing I'm learning, and that's one thing that they kept us from. You know, because they gave us this myth of black capitalism. There's no such thing as black capitalism. I don't know, and people keep talking about that, but I'll be talking about
Yeah.
that. And
No. You're absolutely you're right, because we always talk about this, right? As me and the missus, we be out here trying to flip these houses and and so forth. You sent me something talking about how Greenville went from almost 35% black population to now 22. Now, keep in mind, yeah, we be participating in all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. As you should.
So right. But as I participate into that, the political side is I live in a city outside of the biggest city.
I'll be right back.
So one of the biggest cities is politically losing a financial vote from a minority, and people have to understand when this happened, no matter on what city that you live in, this is how politics work. When poor black folk have to move from the epicenter of a downtown area or a city metropolitan area, and then move to the outskirts because they can't afford. So this is how gentrification works, and it's a reason why they drive the prices of homes up. So then black people can't afford it, because now they can take control of the metropolitan area. And people don't understand what strength the metropolitan area in every state, how much it holds, and how much money that actually comes through that state. And these are the things that again that we as black folk got to understand. So when we sit back and all, and I'm gonna say it like this, I'm gonna say it real black. When we out fucking off, you know what I'm saying, because we want to party every goddamn weekend, instead of sitting here saying, you know what, yeah, man, I ain't do nothing to elevate where I was last year. I need to focus some time to elevate from where I was. If it takes 6 months, that's fine. If it takes a year, that's fine. But I need to elevate. That right there is the thing that we are also dealing with, especially at our age and a little bit younger.
Yeah.
Because it has political ramifications. Because right now, where we should be in our 40s is the political stronghold financially.
Yeah.
And then we should be taking that money and then sending it to senators like Nina Turner. You know what I'm saying? And in certain political races, Raphael Warnock and so forth. So we can sit back and like, all right, well, we need a stronghold there. We need a stronghold here. This is why we need to focus on not partying, hanging out, but climbing financially, so we can then use that finance for those kind of goods.
Yeah, and that's what as you know, and that is the thing, as we do approach our 40s. Yeah, we're supposed to be the OGs, man. You know, you gotta remember, Martin Luther King was assassinated. He was 39. Malcolm X was assassinated. I think he was 38. I think. Medgar Evers was assassinated. He was barely crossed 30 or 35 or so. So yeah, Yeah. As you know, Natasha, as much as I would like, certain black celebs, man, some of them, uh, Carter G. Woodson called him the talented 10th, and he believed that the talented 10th, you get these, like the celebrities today are people, black people who have influence and power and money and wealth, and they come back to the neighborhood and they, basically lift the neighborhood up. And later, right before he passed away, he was like, yeah, that town the 10th, yeah, I don't, yeah, I was, basically saying that, yeah, I was wrong, in believing that, you know what I'm saying? Because when black people get money, uh they start looking out for self.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, there are black people that do good things with their money, like LeBron starts his school, and you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. Who's the running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? He buys homes for families all the time. There are black people that do good, but when you're talking about, building black communities, and that's why, the reason why I call black capitalism a myth, is because you got to have capital in order to
Mm-hmm.
have capitalism. Black people don't have capital. You know what I'm saying?
I think you got. I think you got to express it, like for our audience.
Mm-hmm.
I like to use the terminology collective capitalism.
Um. Uh.
The reason why I say this,
Mm-hmm.
because investing in the real estate,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what we have learned was this whole pandemic, Chinese people were taking their money collectively
Mm-hmm.
and buying up properties
Mm-hmm.
at outrageous prices using hedge funds.
Mm-hmm.
But they were doing this, putting their money in a collective pot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that this will work holistically for black folk, but to assume that you can take this enormous task on individually, it is a harder task.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding collective capitalism or collective capitalism is the thing that we have to really understand, right? Being able to use one pot to achieve a certain goal.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and we would use that through, and we tried to do that through black banks, right? So that was the part of the black capitalism thing was, hey,
Mhm.
put black banks into majority black neighborhoods, and let them go to the black banks, and the black banks would then loan them money. Or I'm sorry, black people will work, put their money in the bank, and then the black banks will then loan out to,
Mhm.
to the black community. But the problem is that black people ain't have no money to loan out. You know what I'm saying? Like there was just a big portion of black people even today who are unbanked. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So they didn't have any money to loan out. And what one thing that they tried to do was get like a lot of these cities, big cities, to put their money in the bank. So
Mhm.
that's how a lot of cities do their budget. So you have your city, and your city will go to Bank of America and say, here's all our money, Bank of America, you know what I'm saying, from the taxpayers that we collected, put in the bank.
Mhm.
That was one suggestion. Hey, cities, put your money in the black banks, and then you can loan the money out. And when I'm talking about capitalism, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we can have a collective, but that collective needs the money to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
have so you know they can't get the money from their job. You know what I mean? They have to get it from something else, from owning, you know, a house, you know, owning land. You know what I'm saying? Something that's they're going to get their money back. So that's what I'm talking about when I talk about when I'm talking about like capitalism. I get what you're saying with the collective, and I agree that you know, one of the other failures of black capitalism, or this belief in black capitalism, is that, you know, if somebody starts a business, they don't go to 5 other people and say, hey, you know, if you give me $5,000, I'm going to start this business or invest in the business, right? I always like to tell people about Jeff Bezos, right? Jeff Bezos was about to lose Amazon. So Jeff Bezos was about to lose Amazon. Jeff Bezos goes to his parents and some other family friends, and they basically give him $400,000. So it's like $500,000, so that he can, you know, basically keep Amazon and grow Amazon. Jeff Bezos just recently, as of like 6-7 years ago, recently turned a profit on Amazon. For a while there, he didn't have turn a profit on Amazon. But the point is that, you know, those family members took loans out on their houses. They had capital. That's capital. They had capital. They took loans out on their homes, you know, pull from savings accounts or pull from retirement accounts and things of that nature. So that's what I'm talking about when I say about capital. You know what I'm saying? You know, and black people don't have that. Or a lot of black people don't have that. You know what I'm saying?
That was like our Christmas time, man, where we ain't had no money to get no brand new Christmas toys, man. So our grandmother gave us our cousins last year Christmas toys. You know, you know, that's how that was going down.
Yeah, and that's the whole point, Natasha, of capitalism, man. It does make us too busy, and really we are surviving. But the problem is that the collective part that John's talking about is that we don't come together and come together under the same under our labor, right? Because that is the most used resource of black people, is our labor. Our labor is the most used resource. Our labor and our time. Those are the 2 resources that gets used. You know what I'm saying? And we don't come together and say, hey, we need to vote or create legislation or create, you know, these things so that we can have better use of our resources, get our time back, right? Money creates time. You know, this last story I'll share, and then I'll jump off here. But the Clint Smith, he has a book called When the Words Pass, and he was doing this podcast, and he was talking about Thomas Jefferson. And a lot of people like to think of Thomas Jefferson as this great writer, right? They're like, oh, Thomas Jefferson was this great thinker and all these other things, right? Well, he was a great thinker because he had the resources for the time to think. He had Africans doing the work on his farm, you know. And the other reason he could think is he had money. Money created time, so he could go to France. He can learn how to, you know, he can learn, you know, all these different things. He got a Quran. You know what I mean? He's reading the Quran. He takes one of his enslaved peoples over to France with him. You know what I'm saying? Those things create time, and because we are surviving, we don't look at as our labor as resource to create time. So therefore, we don't ask for raises. We think that $7 is enough. $7 minimum wage is enough. When you go, a lot of people, when they go into jobs, they undercut, you know, their value, right? When they're negotiating, right? You know, say, oh, you know what, I'm worth 50,000 when that company was willing to give you 80,000. You know what I'm saying? You don't shoot for the moon. So you know, yeah. But yeah, man, that's what, you know, all of that wraps in capitalism, all that stuff wraps in, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. But I'll most definitely touch more on the myth of black capitalism. You know?
Oh
yeah, man. What else? Did we get to everything? Yeah, I think so, man. Yeah, man. Is there anything else?
No, man. I think I think I think you had like one more. Yeah, I think I didn't write down the last one, but man, I think we touched on pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think everything tied into where we should really sum this whole
Mm-hmm.
conversation up, because every last one of
Appreciate
the
you, Natasha.
topics. Yeah,
Appreciate you.
appreciate ya.
Appreciate you guys tuning in, man. Appreciate you.
I think every topic that we touched on, man, I think it all tied into the direction where we should be headed, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
From learning the lesson to Tasha K,
Mm-hmm.
and learning that we need to do things with moral efficacy and integrity
Mm-hmm.
and so forth, not so much all the time just for capital and money,
Mm-hmm.
because that matters to our culture and the direction that we're trying to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um and on top of that, the tearing down of others is that ain't what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like we have a portion of it in our culture, but that ain't really what we do at our core.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then Joe Biden picking the black Supreme Court judge. Yeah, yeah. Show up and show out.
Mm-hmm.
Midterms.
Yeah,
You know
man.
what I'm saying? Like show up and show out so they can do more of that. We
More.
don't care what Manchin is saying. We
Yeah.
don't care what Cinema is saying. We don't care, because
Mm-hmm.
guess what? We're gonna put more people in there that's gonna cancel them out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's why we gotta show up,
Yeah, man. We
so
just
we
have.
can cancel those kind of people out.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the Latinx project in Arizona right now for what they
Yeah.
do in Christian cinema.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're campaigning against her right now in Arizona, and she is taking a tremendous hit right now in fundraising,
Mm-hmm.
because the backing of the Latinos out there, the brothers and sisters out there, are really coming for her. You're talking about 35% of the population of Latinos in Arizona. Black folk jump in,
Yeah.
jump in. And this is where we gotta stop listening to the Tariq Nasheeds and so forth, because
Mm-hmm.
we gotta be strategic about this.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We ain't looking for no long-term friendship,
Mm-hmm.
but
That
we need to be strategic on who our short-term friendships are.
that was the that what you just said. That was the original ethos, I would say, of the Congressional Black Caucus when it was found. It said we don't have permanent friends, we don't have permanent enemies, we have permanent interests.
That's it.
That's it,
That's
man.
it. And it was really Uncle Nearest that was talking, man.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
after my second cup, man, it just all flows this way because this is just who I am.
Yeah, yeah. It's all good. It's all good, man. What I'll say is, to wrap everything up, man. Look, man. At the end of the day, man, we need to understand that celebrities are people, man. At the end of the day, we really need to stop with the celebrity worship. You know what I'm saying? Consume, and I'll say it, man. If you're anywhere, you're over your 30s, man, and you're not, reading, a newspaper more than you're, consuming, some entertainment stuff or whatever, man, like you're not helping, man. You're not helping, you know what I'm saying? And yes, while nobody's going to come save us, man. Everybody's keep, saying that, man. That's one thing. I forget who said that, but I think it was Dr. Carr probably. But they're not, man. So we got to go out there and we got to read. We got to we got to be the ones. We got to take some personal responsibility for the direction, you know what I'm saying, especially of our people, man, and especially of the generation after us, man. You know what I'm saying? We just simply have to, you know what I mean? We have states out here who are trying to cancel Black people out. They're trying to cancel. They're trying to rewrite Black people's experience in America so that we don't ask for reparations. They already dumbed down a lot of our how we communicate, and speaking to how we talk and how we participate. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Look, I know it gets tiring. I know that man, that that it never seems like we're gonna get anywhere, man. But we can't give up. We can't give up until we until we made it to the mountaintop, man. And we're only halfway there. We're only halfway there. We have to show up in this 2022 midterms, and like Jay said, we got to put people in that office, man. Policy over party. That's my Twitter handle, man. Policies over party, man. We can't sit back and just be voting for parties and personalities. You know what I mean? We got to vote for policies. You know what I mean? But we can't be tricked either. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there running under banners. You know what I mean? They're running under, progressives, and they ain't progressives. You know what I mean? So we got to be looking out for things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? But the final thing I'll say, man, hey man, appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. Like, share, subscribe to us, man. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Black History's coming up next month. That's why I'm rocking a little dashiki, you know what I'm saying? So, we're gonna have several conversations.
Black History 365.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. But Black History Month coming up. So we appreciate you guys, man, for tuning in to us, man. And like, share and subscribe, man. Anything else, bro?
No, man. I want to say, man, love y'all, man. Look, the last comment was, gotta keep pushing. Mm-hmm. Straight up, 10 toes down, everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything on God. Like, keep pushing. Talk to your kids. Talk to your kids' friends. Like, keep pushing. Because we always been fighting. They don't want to tell you about the Gullah Wars. They don't want to tell you about the Seminole Wars. They don't want to tell you how we participated in all of that. They don't want to tell you how we always, excuse me, we fought against all the suppression, all of it. From day one, we always fought. And this fight is not over. Just because we live in nicer homes, drive nicer cars, and so forth. Nah, we got to keep on fighting because our kids deserve more. Look, whatever my great-great-grandfather did, and his grandfather and his great-grandfather, whatever y'all ain't pay him, you owe me. And that's straight up. And that's the energy that we got to sit back and take. You owe me because you owe my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's it, man. Yeah, man. All right, man. Hey, you guys have a great weekend. Have a great week, and we'll see y'all on, you know what I'm saying, next time. All right, we out of here. Peace.